Here are your Court News Ohio top stories in 5 minutes. In a case before the Ohio Supreme Court, a pawn shop is seeking immunity from the owner of stolen jewelry after they disassembled and melted some of it, then sold it for profit. In June 2014, burglars stole jewelry from a Montgomery County home, which ended up in a suburban Cincinnati pawn shop. American Trading held the property for at least 15 days, as required by the Ohio Pawnbrokers Act, before the goods were repurposed and sold. Weeks later, an investigation traced the items back to the pawn shop. After a trial court agreed that the business followed proper protocol, the First District Court of Appeals reversed that ruling, stating the pawn shop became liable when it melted down the jewelry. The company maintains that pawn shops and other secondhand jewelry purchasers regularly disassemble jewelry for sale as parts for higher prices. The jewelry owner counters that American Trading didn't follow state law when it bought the items from an out-of-state teenage man by not providing the local police chief with a list of merchandise it purchased. A group of high schoolers with an interest in law recently came to the Thomas J. Moyer Ohio Judicial Center to explore their legal curiosity.
I just want to see how law and politics kind of work hand in hand and work together to better the country.
It's part of Ohio University's Summer Law and Trial Institute.
It's a really cool opportunity for high school students to see how our legal system works.
As part of an immersive 12-day program, this summer camp about the justice system got to see the Ohio Supreme Court in action.
When the justices started talking, they just instantly stopped talking.
True account.
How do you know he knew this?
And listened.
Your statement seems to suggest that.
And then responded to their questions in a very professional manner.
He had been deceptive.
After witnessing oral arguments, these students from Southeast Ohio got even more insight from the state's highest-ranking court official, Chief Justice Maureen O'Connor.
I don't think that there's one path to get to be a lawyer or to go to law school, because there's not.
Along with sharing her experiences in her decades of public service and explaining critical elements regarding the rule of law, she also answered questions that ranged from her inspirations to the changes she's seen on the bench.
What differences have you seen since the opioid epidemic has become more mainstream?
People realize through education and through experience that treatment is the appropriate course.
But the part that stuck with students the most was her words of wisdom for whatever these young minds plan to pursue.
You have to be flexible and open enough to, first of all, enjoy those experiences and let them affect your plans and your thoughts and how you develop both as a student and as a human being.
It kind of put reassurance in me that I do want to do this and that nothing can really stop me.
On an unassuming afternoon in Marysville, people are documenting a big day inside the Veterans Auditorium.
It's kind of like a child moving on in the household.
In front of all these eyes, 7 people share their past and their struggles.
I have about 10 months clean right now. First time I can say that in almost a decade.
I had control, I just stop when I wanted to. I'd go on benches.
Don't ever think that you're at a point in your life, in your recovery journey, that asking for help is something you just don't want to do.
Which is where Union County's First Steps to Recovery Court steps in.
A lot of the problems that people face are things that they've not been able to overcome that have happened to them in their life. It's like a puzzle. You have to get all the pieces, and then when you start interlocking and seeing that one will feed off of another.
To be upset, it's okay to feel how you feel.
If they're just willing, open and honest to do the work, that's when you get the best outcomes.
You accept the love and support that people are giving you. It's 100% possible.
To see them prosper is as rewarding as seeing my children when they would prosper.
And while there's reason to congratulate these drug court graduates, the biggest applause in this commencement is reserved for them to use their sober learning for the rest of their lives.
We feel the success that we had today, but we also know how serious the challenge that we've undertaken with the drug court is.
If you take what drug court has to offer you, this is not even that. So.
And that's a look at Court News Ohio's top stories. Visit courtnewsohio.gov for the latest headlines on Ohio's courts. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter.